Crunch and the Fig. Crunch the squirrel raced up the juicy fig tree, his fluffy tail flying behind him. The juicy fig tree bore very special fig, and cared for by a little girl called Sherry. Sherry took care of all the plants and trees in her garden. Every day she watered them, loved them, and pruned them. Crunch had heard many of the plants and trees whisper that they loved Sherry as much as she loved them, especially the juicy fig tree. All of Sherry's love and care made sweet purple fig grow abundantly like little purple clot of happiness. Sherry was the queen of her backyard, but also its devoted servant. Every day she pulled on her coverall and gumboots and watered, fed, weeded, and took to the plants and her animals that lived in her lush green garden. Now, although Sherry loved and nurtured every plant in her garden, she took particularly care of her fig tree. She knew that everyone loved her figs. She was particularly proud of the figs that grew high up in the tree, so that she could make sweet fig jam and fig desserts. Dexter the puppy was her helper. Every morning he bounded towards the juicy fig tree to scare away the squirrels and birds. "Make sure you don't let anyone get to the figs on the tree, Dexter," Sherry said sternly as she crouched to pull out weeds. Dexter barked excitedly as he ran. Crunch peeked out from behind the delicious guava tree on the opposite side. "Hey, Dexter, what's the scoop today?" he chattered. "Woof!" Dexter pretended to chase bugs to Sherry wouldn't know. He was talking to Crunch. "Stay away from the figs on the tree. Take the ones on the ground and run. I can't act that I'm chasing you for much longer." Dexter and Crunch had perfected the escape dance. Crunch moved in time with Dexter, to Sherry never saw Crunch reach the juicy fig tree. "I will get you some figs," Crunch said, as he snuck up to the tree. But Dexter was already chasing a swarm of bees with Crunch's brothers. Sherry watched Dexter and the squirrels pounce and leap together, chattering and barking joyfully. Then she went indoors and did not return for a while. The delicious guava tree and the shady lemon tree whispered to each other, "Do you think she went to make herself some tea?" "What?" asked the rosemary bush, shocked. "She always makes sure we have composed tea first." And then Crunch did something quite naughty. He decided that this was the best time to scamper up the tree and eat some figs right off the branches, even though Dexter had warned him against it. Even though he knew it wasn't allowed, but Crunch dreamed of them. He scampered toward the fig top, his tiny legs moving fast. He was climbing so fast he accidentally knocked down a ripe fig. He turned to see where it had landed, when suddenly His eyes met Sherry's shocked gaze instead. She held up that ripe fig. "I cannot believe you would do something so naughty." Her surprise made Crunch feel bad. She was such a nice girl, he did not want her to be upset. It made all the plants unhappy when she was unhappy. He hadn't thought it enough. He had been so excited about the thought of eating a fig right off branch. He remembered Dexter's warning too late. "You are eating my figs," Sherry continued as Crunch still. "What about all my plans and hard work? Why didn't Dexter stop you?" Crunch was crouched and ashamed, tail quivering as his nose twitched. "Isn't there enough to share?" he chattered, but Sherry did not speak squirrel. "How do I know what you are saying?" she said, and plopped down on the grass, staring at Crunch. She turned and looked at her garden. She saw Crunch's brothers romping through the branches of the lemon tree. Even as Dexter sprawled idly on the grass, burst of flitters around the sounding out neighborhood news. She watched them all for a while. Then she saw the dragonflies hovering, and the busy bees emerging from petals, buzzing past all the plants, bringing pollen into a corner of the roof, only to reappear and disappear again into flowers. Sherry suddenly saw her backyard with new eyes. Her backyard was a home to so many creatures. She did not want Dexter to keep them away. She did not even want to use all the figs. She just wanted the upper branch figs. She remained sitting on the grass, thinking about what to do. As Sherry thought, Crunch scrambled down from the juicy fig tree and ran to hide behind the delicious guava tree. He watched Sherry from there, taking a bite of a seedy guava. "Well," she said, "I guess that's that." They all watched in surprise as Sherry went to the herb patch, weeding and pruning corner. Next she went to Crunch and gave him a ripe fig that she picked from the upper branch of the juicy fig tree. "I will cover the high up figs with nets, but you will get one every time I pick a batch." Crunch chattered happily. "That's a great idea." Sherry exclaimed, "I think you agree." When she heard his little voice, even she could not understand exactly what he said. She left more figs from the lower branches and the ground in a nice red bucket in the middle of the yard for everyone to enjoy. Now she could watch the animals in action as she sat at the kitchen table doing her homework. "Dexter, guava," she said, tossing a guava at the air. Dexter leapt to catch it. No figs for him, but a guava. Now that hit a spot. The plants and animals of Sherry's backyard humming happily as Sherry went back to gardening with a smile. It felt like spring had come to everyone. The end. For more short stories and audiobooks, please subscribe to the channel, share the video, and like. Thank you.